Hi guys, and welcome to Dev Central. Today we're going to be using Python to build a basic calculator. We're going to go over variables, input, functions, and function parameters. So we're building a calculator, like I said. A couple of things we're going to need is user input, so we can find out what number they want to add, multiply, subtract, or divide. And then we're going to want to find out the operator. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function called math. It's not going to take any parameters, but we do need to create inputs for it. And when we are creating these inputs, we're going to want to figure out if it's a float or an integer. And just to make it simple all around, we're going to create every input to be a float, which just means it has a decimal, it has numbers after the period. So we're going to say number 1 equals float. Let's get that user input. Someone we want them to input, so enter a number. After that, we're going to want to find out what operator they want to use. So we're going to just call operator. So variable we're creating. That can be simply a input. We're going to call enter input. And then we're going to want to find the second number that they want to manipulate. So we're going to say number 2, if I can spell, is equal to a float. Like I said again, we're just doing the float. That way they can use decimals if they want to. Say input. If I can type, enter a number. And then we're going to want to return we're going to want to give these variables to a function called do math. And we're going to want to this is a function we haven't yet created, but this function is going to have parameters. And these parameters that are going to be used in this function are number 1, operator, so we can find out what they want to do, and then number 2. So let's create that real quick. Def do math. And I'm going to make these different than the variables or parameters that I just put into this right here. So we're going to say num1, comma, op for operator, and num2. Now, this is probably the trickiest part of all of this, but we are going to use if and if-else statements. So we're going to say if op, which is this operator right here, and that is this, which links to this. So the best way to think about this is, oh, well, what's this? This function has a parameter called op. Well, what is op? Well, we're calling this op right here when we call the function, and that's going to take from operator. But we're going to say if op is strictly equal to plus, don't forget your semicolon, say return print, that way the user can see it in their terminal, num1 plus num2. And this is basically as simple as that. The only thing we're changing is this operator right here. And so now we're going to use else if, which is elif op is equal to, let's say subtract. Then we want to take and return num1 minus num2. We're going to do that for multiplication and then division. So elif op is equal to this multiply. We're going to return print num1 times num2. And then we just have division. So elif op is equal to division. We're going to say return print num1 divided by num2. So I just want to make a quick example. This is what everyone has this problem. Everyone has done this before, but let's run this program and see what happens. We realize nothing has happened. We're not seeing these inputs we want. We're not getting any type of outcome. We forgot to call the math function. And so what this right here is going to do is it's just going to call this math function all of this until the program is terminated. So let's try and run again, see what happens. Pause it, figure it out for yourself if you want. But let's go. So we see enter a number. We're going to say 5 plus, let's do 5. We have our output. Do it again. We're going to say 7 times 7, 49. There we go. Making a calculator in 20 lines as simple as that. There's not much to go over. This is just basic calculator, as I said. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got something from it. Hope you learned about parameters, which is what an input needs to run, or what a function needs to properly run if you give it parameters, and variables and input, which this right here. Thank you for watching, and hope you have